Good. So let's just check our tech. As always, you'll see in the class agenda, I put tech right at the start because we got to make sure tech's working, and then we start the class. Hi, Ashley. Can you hear me nice and clearly? Let's see what comes into the chat. Great. Okay, so I will start actually with um, the on board status. Who's on board today's class? In the Cosmos, VD is here, Chanel, Ashley, Rianne, and Manjeet. And then, you know what we'll do? Let's pass a microphone around and just give your full name, as that way I can really be clear. Because sometimes I've been getting the incorrect pronunciation, and I just want to make sure. So just pass this around and just give your full name, okay? See if this works.
Ira, is it word?
Ira,
Ira Butt.
what? Okay.
Kayla Rhodes Troop.
Yep.
Faith Limbonic.
Joshua Archer.
Macalcy Jones.
Good.
Sangam Grover.
Right. Yes.
Abhijit Singh.
Uh,
Abhijit
Abhijit,
Singh.
yeah, and then go back to Ramesh and it's
Ramesh Najam.
okay. Good assignment, by the way. The first assignment, nicely done. Yeah, go.
Ethan Rowan.
Ethan, yep, go ahead.
Piyush Agarwal.
Piyush, yes. Jazeel,
Ibrahim Jazil.
yeah, okay, and then finally, good.
Dylan Gill.
Oh, Dylan, right, okay, great. And who are you? Yeah, okay. Excellent. So that's how we'll do who's on board, is just pass the microphone around, and I've taken care of that, and we're good. Thank you. We can start more or less on time. Well, everybody, welcome to our 7th Humanities Destiny class of the semester. Incredibly, we are almost halfway through the semester. Pretty well. Next week is break week. So I won't see you for 2 weeks. And I am a little bit behind in marking right now with assignments, but I have started and I've read some, and I might even be able to give a little bit of feedback to the class about what I'm seeing so far. And remember that your second assignment is due tomorrow night if you haven't handed it in already. And I regret that, given the amount of students I have this semester, like last semester, 200 students, I can't give individual feedback to everybody on their assignments. But if you really want it, just email me and I will provide you with individual feedback. But what I will do is that I will give general feedback to the class as I'm reading assignments while we're having a class. And for those of you who get 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, probably you won't be requesting any feedback. But there will be some who get lower marks, and they will wonder why, and they're right in wanting to get that feedback. And I will try to address those concerns in the class. But if you still feel that you don't understand why you got 6 or 7 from the feedback I give in the class, then just shoot me an email. And the best thing to do is then for us to have a quick phone call. That is good. I just like to speak to students directly if I can. And that really helps. Sometimes I have questions for the student too as to why they were trying to do something. And so if all I do is send you an email, it's a bit one way. Sometimes the student receives the email, and sometimes I don't even hear from the student again. But at least with a quick phone call, I can establish some kind of interaction. So that's what's ahead. And I'm actually getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I think we're actually okay. Essentially, let me come back and start from where I wanted to, which is, what is today's class about? And then we'll do a little bit of reviewing, and we'll talk about what's ahead. And then we're going to have an activity, and I will put a picture back up on the big dashboard of the person that we're going to be talking a lot about today, who I think is a great case study in this particular issue that we're going to explore today. Essentially, the class is called Together on Earth. Now, what does that mean? Well, the idea is that if we're going to go forwards into the future in the 21st century and beyond, in this global technological civilization that seems to only be getting more connected, we're going to have to give even more thought to how we do this together on the planet with less war and maybe less conflict. And the reason I say that is because we happen to live at a time in history where we humans have created the most powerful weapons of mass destruction that we've ever had. Once upon a time, in the great age of Roman civilization, the great Roman Empire, with their legions that went all over the Mediterranean and established the Roman Empire as a superpower, they were ferocious warriors with their legions, and they would just lay siege to a town, but they did not have anywhere near the firepower that we have today. We can basically kill everything quickly, including all life on this planet. It's called omnicide. So the question is, how are we going to be able to do this? How are we going to be able to go forwards in this century and beyond when we start to actually inhabit other parts of the solar system and do it in a way where there's more peace or not as much war? So it then raises a question. Do we care about human rights that much? How much does freedom mean to you? That's really the big force that we're going to be looking at in today's class, is trying to understand more about the future of freedom for the human future. And this is really, really important, because if we are going to go into space, and we're going to be doing that after the break in this class, after the winter break, we're going to be doing a lot more in space exploration and beyond to understand what we might be doing beyond. It's great to talk about technology, but ultimately, technology is a tool that's used for a purpose. Technology is not an end in itself. It's a means to an end of something. And what is that end? Is that end really to make us more free? To bring us more peace? Do we want to create a society or civilization off the earth that simply replicates the divisions and problems that we have down here? Or are we going to do something better or not? And the person around whom this class is going to revolve today in terms of the activity is none other than, and I think you might know who it is. Who is a human being who seems to be well situated? One foot is on this planet, another foot is off the planet. Archer? Elon Musk. The richest man on the planet, or maybe certainly one of the wealthiest. But this is a person that I have talked about before, but now we're going to really drill down together today, because this is a person who has immense power on planet Earth today and wants more. Now, why would I bring him into this class as a great case study in understanding the future of freedom for human beings? here and beyond because of something very obvious. Elon Musk has said that the reason he bought Twitter and turned it into X was because he wanted the world to be having a freer discussion. He says that he stands on the side of liberty and freedom without any control whatsoever. In other words, he is in his mind and in what he has said, that he is the greatest proponent of freedom for humans today. Do you believe that? If you don't, we need to understand why. But we're going to have an activity a little bit later where you're going to do a little research together, and we're going to have a little bit of a discussion, maybe even a debate with those who think that Elon, he doesn't even have Musk much anymore. He's just Elon. Elon is a force of freedom for humanity or not? And is his stance on freedom telling us something about what the future is going to look like for humanity when it leaves the planet? I will say one more thing before we get into this. Last week, he achieved something remarkable in engineering. The rocket. Did any of you see the... Yeah. We're talking about a brilliant technical achievement. So much so that the head of Google, at that level, Google, Meta with Zuckerberg, and Amazon and all the big American communications companies, they don't like each other. They all hate each other. They all compete. They're all trying to make more money from each other. But for Google to come out and say, "Way to go, Elon! That was a brilliant achievement," that tells you something about the achievement. We'll talk more about that. So the future of us in space and beyond has something to do right now with Elon. And, well, he has made it very clear that in the upcoming American election, he will pay you money, if you are an American, to vote for Trump, Donald Trump. That's it. In his mind, at that level of wealth and power, he's the lawmaker, nobody else. But that's not the way it's supposed to work in a democracy. Nobody is above the law, but in his estimation, he is above the law. He is the law. Now, you may see that as remarkable freedom. He's put himself into a place where he is an absolute free individual to create the laws, enforce the laws, build the machines. More power to him. But some of you may question whether that kind of power really is representing a free mind and a free human, or just something we've seen more of in history, in humanity, which is a person who wants more and more power to control more and more people. We'll see. But I think it's very important that if we're going to talk about how we can live together on this planet and have less war, less conflict, more peace, go into the future, not replicate the problems and destruction, and there's staggering destruction happening right now in the Middle East. We won't get into why. That's something else. The point is the level of destruction that has begun as a result of one group invading another group, and then the other group bombing the hell out of that group to the point where their cities are all gone, flattened quickly. It's massive destruction. Everybody dies. So Do we want to take that into the future? Do we really want that to be the way it will unfold on another planet with others? So it comes down to our understanding of freedom and respect for human rights. It's very important. Okay? So that's where we're going today with this discussion. Together on Earth, is it even possible to live together in peace on this planet or not? Good. Okay, I got that off my chest. I had that sort of planned in my mind. I wanted to make sure it comes out the right way. Let's come back to a little bit of what's lying ahead in this class and beyond, and a little bit of review as well. So, oh, Gigi's there in the Cosmos today. Excellent. Are we also going to talk about how Kamala Harris was not voted in? How is that democratic? Well, good question, Gigi. She was not voted in. She was actually selected because she is, or is still, the vice president, and was simply chosen by the president to be her choice for presidential candidate. But she will have to win an election, Gigi, in order to prove that she deserves to be there. And that election is coming on November the 4th, I think it is, or November the 3rd. Good question. We'll talk more about that, but I'm glad that we're already starting to see some activity in the live chat. Okay, so yes, Faith Lynn, please take the microphone. I just want to make sure we have time to review and also talk about what's coming too, okay? Oh, sorry, turn that on a second.
How
Yep.
much money was he bribing them to vote for Donald?
He's offering $47
$47.
to each person. You can learn more about it. And the reason he's making it 47, that's what Trump has, and Trump's got hats that say Trump 47. He wants, so right now, Joe Biden is the 46th American president. And Donald Trump, wants to be the 47th.
Elon wants Donald Trump to be the 47, so he's given
Absolutely.
people $47 to vote for him.
That's right.
Oh.
And Donald Trump has promised him that if he's elected, Elon will become the person who will clean up government efficiency. Why don't you look into that and see what the deal is on what Elon Musk has been promised, that he will be hired, brought in to clean up government. So there's a deal there that's been made, and it's quite interesting. But again, my own opinions may show a little too clearly today in terms of where I stand, and I don't want to make you feel that you have to agree with me. I just want to fire you up a little bit. Okay? Yes. Faithlin? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's free speech, considering he's literally like stifling people's like free thinking. That she makes our own decision. Like it depends on how much you're like financially suffering of like $47, but
No,
you're willing to like give people money just to think like you. That's not really like thinking.
well, you're doing some good critical thinking there, but absolutely. I mean, not everything should be for sale, right? Okay. Yes. Let's start a little bit, and then I'm going to come back to and make sure we're all set up for the activity. But go ahead. We're still kind of just setting up the class. Yes.
Just now you said that he's practically gonna pay them to put Donald Trump into government, and after he's gonna clean up the government, right? But clean up the government, how exactly? In whose eyes, in whose perspective? Because you clean up the government, it's just gonna be from your perspective. But then again, I can disagree with his perspective. So
Yes.
technically, him voting, like him paying us or paying the American people to vote someone in to clean up the government doesn't make any sense because the people he paid, they can have different opinions and different views on like what he does.
Just start thinking. You're going to have a chance to really do some research on this as a team to understand what that $47 is and all of this. But let's keep going, okay? Because as we sort of get this ready, but the issue here is always going to be the future of freedom for the human future. And do we really have freedom here yet? Yes.
gonna say I feel like one of the issues that might occur from that is when you're voting for someone, it should be like your opinion, but you're voting for somebody who agrees with your views and like you agree with things that they're gonna do is positive. But when you bring money and incentive into it, right? Like $47 isn't a lot, right? But for people that might not have a lot of money, that might alter their decision just for $50. Like, that's dinner for the family.
Sure.
And then that also, like, I feel like going on in the future, for all these people, these rich people have all this money, and these other people don't. It's just going to become a reoccurring thing where they're like, "Hey, vote for me. I'll give you money because I have it." And
That's right. That's right.
Gets rid of,
Yeah.
like somebody else was saying, their opinion, I guess.
It is a bit concerning to think that your vote can be bought, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your vote could be bought. That's part of the problem. But okay, well, hold on. Anybody else want to say? I just want to make sure we're getting kind of teed up with some thoughts, but we're going to have a real chance in the activity to work this through. And what we want to understand is something very, very simple. Okay, the question is, does Elon really stand on the side of freedom? Well, just hold on, just wait. You're going to have a chance. You're going to have a chance. And I just want to come back to make sure you understand what we're doing here in today's class, because there's so many directions we can go in today. But it's very important to understand that we're talking about a critical human quality that is the heartbeat of our most sophisticated but also problematic form of government. It's called democracy. This is the best we've got in the human story so far. And freedom and respect for people's freedom and human rights is part of this. So that's the big question. This powerful person who has said he stands on the side of freedom, that's all he really cares about in the end. He wants the freedom, and he wants you to have the freedom to say what you want, make all the money you want, do what you want. Is it really true that he's standing on that side? We will answer that later, okay? Just start thinking about it. Colin? Yeah, and I'll bring you the mic, okay? Do you want to? Yep. Oh, you got it? Great. Go ahead.
Here's a funny thought. If it does come to the way of paying for votes, one party is going to try to outbid
Okay.
the other, and it's just going to constantly go up, and then like Elon or Bill Gates are going to get involved, and it's just basically going to become a redistribution of the wealth at the end of it.
Okay.
So, it's a funny thought. Figuring to share.
You may find in the activity, as you start to do some research together, that you may find some things that contradict even what I'm saying right now. That's fine. We have to explore that together. But let's just always come back to the idea first that if humans cannot be free, chances are they can't invent very well, because generally we invent more in places where we are supported and we are free to imagine new things. But if we are controlled to the extent that even our minds are controlled, we can't use our imaginations much anymore. And so we can't invent much. So free thinking, the free mind, is very important to human invention. And Elon would definitely believe in that and would support that. He would say, the free mind and my ability to think has allowed me to create all these incredible things for humanity. And it's all doing good for humanity, he would say. His cars, his brain chips, his spaceships, and also his communication platform now, where people can swear at each other and do whatever they like. Doesn't matter. Let people freely communicate, as bad as it gets. Okay, so we've just established where we're going. I'm just seeing on the live chat. Okay, so let me come back to a bit of review and also what's coming as well in the global classroom with some events. First, I'd like just to have a quick conversation with some of you about where we've been so far in this class in terms of some of the critical ideas. And I'd like to put them on the smartboard just to remind all of you of where we've been and also to help us understand where we're going. Because a lot of what we've been exploring so far is in aid of setting us up for the second half of the semester, which will be about space exploration. A lot of space exploration, a lot of thinking about what are humans going to be doing when they leave the planet? What kind of society or civilization? What kinds of resources might we discover? Why are we even going into space to the extent that we're going there? So let's kind of just review some of the key thoughts, okay? So everybody online as well, I'd like you to think about this. Okay, so first, what would you say is the biggest idea so far that we have been exploring together in humanity's destiny? The biggest topic that really is important. You've been writing about this in your discussion posts, you've been thinking about it in your assignments, but let's kind of just get 3 or 4 of the critical ideas. We might even call them the critical human forces. Okay, so this is a review. Critical human forces. Because we're talking about the human future or humanity, okay? Just to remind us of where we've been as we begin to get closer and closer to leaving the planet. Faith Lynn?
Technology and evolution.
Technology and evolution, lovely, okay? Hold that in your mind because somebody's going to go back to the board in a moment and write this, and it's probably not going to be me. It's going to be one of you chosen scribes or writers who likes to. Are you ready to write stuff today? No, definitely not. Okay, Colin. Technology, evolution. Nice, Faith Lynn. Colin? Okay, so that's technology. The opportunity, we'll might add that as a little subcategory. But we've been definitely working over technology. Yes. Romesh? Evolution. Okay, so technology, evolution. Okay, so tech number 1. Very good, because humans are master tool makers. We take things from the planet and we recreate them to give ourselves power. So we've been doing this right from the beginning, from the time that we were actually walking as anatomical humans. 200,000 years ago, we were picking up rocks and shaping them. So technology, evolution. So we'll add that to tech. We'll add what Romesh said to evolution. Let's see. She's default. So hold your thought, Miss Default. Okay? Let's see what pops into the live chat. Gigi, get your mind around this. What is a critical, the future of humanity? Good, okay. And humanity meaning not just humankind, but the human bond, what it means to be a human being, humanness. Culture, excellent. Sustainability is good, yeah. Exactly. Good, okay. We have one more, Faith, think go.
Prediction of like the past based on the like present and past, and then we have the human nature.
Forecasting? Prediction. We don't really, we forecast. That's a better way of looking at it because we can't really predict with 100% accuracy based on what we know. So we generally say we forecast and with scenario planning, different kinds of scenarios.
Just saying based on like how the past went, we can then
Yes.
like determine how the future.
Yeah, we can. Absolutely. That's why we need history's lessons. Okay, so let's say, I'll let Mayrene's working on some other things. Who really, again, can write nicely and slowly? McAllister. Please go there and excellent. Okay, let's get these forces down and let's do our little PowerPoint slide called Critical Human Forces. And then we're going to move on and we're going to look at the future of freedom through the story of Elon. Okay, so first, technology. Could you just write it under human future? Technology. Just one word, technology. We've been trying to understand that more and its role in our lives and where it might be going. Evolution, the force of evolution is this driving, could you write down evolution as well? Is a driving force. And then we had, and I may not be doing this in the exact order. Oh, with your, yeah, exactly, good. And even better is you use the pad of your hand. That's what I was told. But anyways, use your finger and you're fine. So then evolution, human future, technology, evolution, culture, sustainability, culture and sustainability, forecasting, forecasting based on history. Forecasting based on history. Great. Forecasting based on history. That's why history is important. We have sustainability, humanity. Just humanity. Its future. Okay, humanity, its future. Okay, that's great. So let's just make sure. Good, we have, yep, Ashley, thanks. We have sustainability up there, connection to the environment, that's sustainability. Canada's history, that's a little bit small for this. We're onto a bigger stage right now, which is the future of the human race. That's too regional. So we'll say humanity and then comma, its future. Okay, you want to write down humanity, its future. So that's the slide for critical human forces. Is there anything else we're missing? And its is a possessive there, and it's always, yeah, exactly. So remove the, yeah, it's not it is. That's a contraction for two words. Great. Okay. Faithlyn? Forget it? Should we put that? Forget it? Forget everything? No. It is. That's a contracted. The its is an adjective. It's a possessive adjective. It's. There you go. Sorry, why am I correcting spelling? Because I love writing and because I used to teach it. And anyways, okay, so this is the review. Second thing is I want to make sure you understand what's coming a little bit. And please stay at the board as well. Nice calligraphy. Just want to remind you that this Saturday at the Toronto Reference Library at Bloor and Young is the big repair cafe that will be held. And there's a group from this classroom from 3 different classes going. Maureen will be going as well there. And if you want to come and witness it, just to be part of it, or because you will be part of the formation of the repair cafe here in 2 months, let Maureen know. You should have received, did you get it? Yeah, from, yeah, you got the email? Great. Okay, so Archer's part of the group, and there's a group of others as well, and he'll be coming too. By the way, Saturday is International Repair Day in the world, which is kind of interesting. And today itself is something a little different, but today is International Day of Action for Academic Integrity. For those of you who may want to know about that, which is kind of important when it comes to doing your assignments well. But more important is Saturday, International Repair Day, Repair Cafe. If you want to come, you can come. And there's a holiday, the break week next week, so I won't see you. Okay. So I think we're ready now to create some teams and to start working over this big question. So can you make another slide and just write down today's big question? Okay. Oh, go down to the bottom and put your finger on that, those 2 little, yeah, you'll see it. Perfect. Way to go. Today's big question. today's big question. Does Elon Musk believe in freedom more than anything else? That's the question. And in the answering of that question, does Elon Musk believe in freedom more than anything else? We are going to start to understand a little bit more about the future of this idea of human freedom and why it matters or may not matter so much. We may determine that when we answer this question, there's something else that Elon Musk wants and also that you want. And you may learn as you work through this answer today that freedom matters less to you than you realize. You may want something else. We often say that freedom is the biggest thing. It's a universal value. Everybody wants to be more free, and that this is only going to continue long into the future. And that's all good. It all means such good things for humanity because we all just want more freedom. We may begin to see that humans have demonstrated so far on this planet that maybe they want other things that are more important than freedom. And then we have to start to think a little bit differently about how will we then deal with this idea of human rights. Because human rights is based on the idea that you protect all of our freedoms. Everybody is respected. Everybody's protected. But if you take away freedom from that, what do we have left? And what does that mean for our future? Okay, big stuff. So let's start in the online group. I'll come to you in a moment. If you want to come back, and I'm going to get going with the group, but thank you for some nice handwriting. And I think today what we'll do is, we'll do the numbers. I just want to check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Why don't we do 3 groups of 5 right now? That will work. So number 1, number 2, number 3. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay? Number 1, number 2, number 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so all ones, the 5 of you, could you come together over here and you can use the stools? All 2s, could you come to the middle? And all 3s, could you come over here? And for the online folks, I'm going to talk to you momentarily. So 1s are over here, 2s are in the middle, 3s are over here on my right. Great. So Vanch, you're a 2? You're a 3? Okay. How come Colin's over there? And it looks like these guys have too many. This is a 1. This is 3. Thank you. So somebody's not a 3. You can be a 1, you can be a 2, you can be a 3, you could be anything because you're able to pivot from here and there and everywhere. So can you go over here? Oh, it was Hillel. Okay, Hillel, you're Mr. Pivot. Okay, okay, but you got to be able to pivot. Great. Okay, so take a good 15 minutes to start thinking about the answer to this, but also go online to find out a little bit more about what Elon Musk has said about freedom. And also, could you please give some thought to the fact that this incredible booster that he put into space last week may not have been able to be developed had he not had the freedom that he says he has. So let's start to answer this question with some research as well, okay? Thank you. That's all I'm going to tell you for now. And For those of you online, and that would be, let's see who's there, VD, Chanel, Rianne, Manjeet, and Ashley. Okay, I'm going to talk to all of you for a moment, and I'm going to bring the camera over. So here we go. And I'll do it this way. Oh, do you know we're logged in to the wrong? It's the wrong. You know why? Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, it's okay. It's because I can't move the camera. We'll leave it for now. But in the future, shut it down. Is when you come in, just shut it down completely, and then you can come in because he came in another way, so doesn't have the camera. Yeah, it's okay. No. But okay, so for those of you, I'm fine. I'll talk to them this way. For those of you online right now, you will see me and you should hear me. So, what I'd like you to do, each of you online, is I would like all of you to find a quote, even if you have to go to AI to help you, but you have to provide the source in the end. A quote from Elon Musk where he talks about freedom. Okay, so VD, Chanel, Rianne, Manjeet, and Ashley, I'd like each of you to do that on your own and then put that quote into the live chat with the source. Does that make sense, VD? Did you understand that? Great. Okay. If you have any questions, good, Ashley, thanks. So go ahead and take your time. You have 10, 15 minutes. A quote from Elon with the source where he talks about freedom. Good. Okay. And the question that we're going to be addressing later after you do this is, does Elon Musk believe in freedom more than anything else? So I'll just put this in the chat for you now. Here is the big question for today that we will be taking up together. Does Elon Musk believe in freedom more than anything else? Okay? All right, and then let's see how let's go to the planet today. Yes, yeah, I'll come to do the introduction, and then I'll probably leave shortly after. Okay, and I didn't talk to Stuart. I'm going to let him do the system. Don't worry. Yeah, just let him. Just go ahead and let him tell you what to do for this time. Okay, next year maybe we'll see. But it's okay. Great. Okay, so Ashley, good. We've got. Well, wait now, Ashley. This is interesting. Google is not a source. Actually, Google is simply an engine, a search engine that takes you to the source. Google is not a source. Exactly. So where and when did he say this? Well, according to Google, he said it on March the 23rd, 2024. Fair enough. But where did he say this? That's the important thing. Okay? Good. And I'll bring up a picture. I want to find my picture of Elon. Okay? I want to put that in here. So I'm going to find a nice picture today. Maybe I'll do it this way, actually, today. I'm going to come here and I'll go there. Okay. And I will bring it here. I'm going to find a nice image of Elon. Great. So what's this? People. So let's see for a second. Okay. Ashley, I might have lost you. Can you hear me now? Still? You should be able to, but I'll just double check. Yeah, great. Okay. So people work better when they know what the goal is and why it's important to look forward. I enjoy what. Okay. So is that freedom? And let's see. We want something where he speaks to freedom. Elon Musk quotes for success. Okay. Hmm. Ashley, just by way of helping you think this through as best as possible, this website, Elon Musk quotes for success, is there any person associated with this website who we know is real? I want to make sure we know that that's a real website with a real person producing this information. Otherwise, this quote could come from anywhere. It could be made up by somebody. Okay? No, that's okay. Keep thinking. Now I'm going to bring up a nice picture of Elon here and Donald. Let me. Whoops, Daisy. There we go. There we go. And now I will come back to. So there's the person we're talking about. Great. Excellent. Well, this is a nice handshake. Great. Okay, we've got that going. Got that going. Oh, I thought you might have something you're worried that's a quick. No, work on that. I'm okay. I think. Yeah, 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 for sure. No, I would let you know. I thought maybe you have something. Yeah, no, you're good. No, I actually like doing this because I feel I'm having a real class. And okay, so VD is finding it hard. VD, what exactly are you finding hard? Go ahead, tell me what is it difficult to find a quote that's real that you can trust in the world of virtual online make believe where there's lots of things made up, or are you finding it hard because you don't understand appropriate reason? Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's okay. VD, do you have access to a search engine right now? Google? I mean, do you on a phone or the device? Okay. So then why don't you start with simply entering in to the Google search bar, or if you have an AI copilot, Elon Musk talking about freedom, and then see what comes up. Okay? Because I think, go ahead, try that. Do you have access to Copilot or an AI to help you? Because that can be, well, then be nice to the AI. Treat it well and say, please provide me with a quote from Elon Musk where he talks about freedom. Period. Okay, so enter that into the AI, and then it will give you some quotes, and then we'll look at the quotes and the sources. That's how to do it. Okay, good. Keep going another 5 minutes or so. Now, let's go over to here while we're having some fun today. And we'll go and look for the booster. We'll run this in slow motion. YouTube. We'll do it this way. We'll do this. SpaceX booster launch return live. Okay, here's Fox. Why not? No, it's just the bottom part, the booster, the rocket part that boosts the ship. Okay, so I'll turn the audio down here. The way it landed in this, here's the landing. This is the brilliant part. It comes back. It comes back. That's what happened last week. The rocket returns to its original launch. Okay. I'll do that again. So first, the booster is coming out here. Doesn't a free mind have to imagine that this can happen? And then to make it happen requires more of free thinking in business without anything controlling you to be able to do that. To have a rocket return to the very place where it was launched into what's called the chopstick catch. Watch how these two all by itself. Yeah, I mean it's phenomenal. Yeah, it's tremendous technology that we're witnessing here. Yeah, and there it is, ready to be used again. Ready to be used again. Yeah, so it can be reused again. Just go up, come back. Go up, come back. Push another ship into the atmosphere. Come back. Put something on top of it. Go back. Boost that thing into the atmosphere. Come back and just keep pushing things into space. Exactly. Exactly. That's true. It's greener. Good point. It's just being reused. So, okay, 2 more minutes, and then let's see what Ashley. This is what chat said. Ashley, who is chat? Is that a source? Chat. Chat GPT said that. I don't believe it yet. I will only believe it when I know where does this quote come from. It sounds interesting, but this is the problem when we go online is we can be manipulated so easily thinking everything is true just because it's there. But that could be an algorithm. It could be an algorithm pushing out amazing Elon Musk quotes that weren't even said by him. It could be an Elon Musk fan, somebody who loves Elon Musk. It could be Donald Trump putting out Elon Musk quotes for all we know. Okay, so 1 more minute, and then I'll leave this running. Yeah, let's see what we have here. Sure. Yeah, great. I'll let that go running silently so we have a little bit of the launch America. Wow. Okay, so we're going to get ready to start answering this momentarily. Does Elon Musk believe in freedom more than anything else? Would you be prepared to get on the board and do the answers? Great. Yeah, because I think I'm going to keep a good group going here. So thanks a lot. Okay, 30 seconds. We're going to take this up together, and Maureen will do the notes so we can have a good interaction. The whole idea is he's making space exploration and space travel more accessible, more affordable, with more people going into space. So that's right. Absolutely. So isn't that a sign of a good free mind? He's actually honoring human rights there by having women and an Asian astronaut and yeah.
different body structure, but there's not really like anyone of different body sizes.
Well, you do need to have a certain. Oh, great. Okay, so Maureen's got things ready. All right, everybody. So could you turn your attention back to the classmates, and we're going to start the take up, and we're going to have Maureen do the notes so that we can all concentrate together, and McAllister can concentrate. McAllister. Macalcia. Thank you. Macalcia. Thank you. Yeah, Macalcia. Right. Yeah, Macalcia. Thanks. Okay, so Macalcia can be involved in the discussion. I want her to be able to be involved as much as possible. So Maureen's going to help us with the take up. So let's start. Okay, and just I will leave the video of the SpaceX launch of this remarkable booster running as a reference to what a free mind is capable of inventing. But we may discover that there's more than freedom here that is important. So let's say we'll go over to our cosmos just for a little bit of fun. And VD, Chanel, Rianne, Manjeet, or Ashley, is any one of you prepared to jump on your microphone and engage in this conversation in real time? You don't have to. You know, if everything's quiet in the live chat, I'll just say that the cosmos is kind of still and quiet today. You know, it's kind of a dead cosmos. Well, okay, it's all right. We've got enough people in the inner circle here to do this. So, for any of you in the cosmos, just jump on your microphone if you would like. But otherwise, we're going to start the take up and put your thoughts into the live chat, and we'll come back to you. So, team two, since I'm looking straight at you, where's the microphone? Would you come up and I'll stand over here and, somebody come over here and let's keep this circle moving. Got it. Okay, Macalcia. Macalcia. Okay. Yeah. Macalcia. So just karaoke, right? You know the drill.
No drill.
So start answering the question, please.
Okay, so the question was, does Elon Musk believe in freedom more than anything else? And my group and I, we came to the conclusion that he does not, because basically he's using money to get what he wants. Like, for example, like the voting, like whatever he wants Donald Trump in.
The microphone on, by the way. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, hold it. Yeah, I'll just turn this up so we can hear. Yeah, go on.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
He wants Donald Trump practically in so he can basically have some sort of control in like what happens. Like he wants to say what happens, right? Like that's how we
Oh.
viewed it, right? And my personal take is you can be someone who believes in freedom of speech and still like follows Trump in a sense because like he does not like what it,
Huh.
he
Yes.
believes in the opposite of freedom because he goes against like the freedom of women's rights, the freedoms of international people. Like if you're standing against Trump, me personally, I just think you don't believe in freedom.
Very interesting. Okay, so let's see. Colin's going to help. Excellent. So you would generally say that he does not believe in freedom more than anything else. So then why does he even talk about freedom if he doesn't really believe in it?
Because like the thing about people, right, to get what they want, they would like they would say what other people like want to hear, right? So I believe he's just saying this because he's seen a lot, but his actions
Yes,
aren't
yes.
like proving like he's not putting his money where his mouth is worth or whatever it's
Yeah,
called,
yeah.
right? So like he's just saying all like he's just practically talking rubbish, right? And he's going
Mhm.
against every single thing that he's saying.
I see. But then how would this incredible technology ever be built without a mind like Elon Musk who thinks of these things? He obviously thinks freely. He's imagined this, you know, isn't that something to celebrate?
It is something to celebrate. I don't like disagree with like his mind or like his technology, like because like he's of great intelligence. Okay, he has a brilliant mind,
Yes.
and his mind contributed to like a lot of what we have in society. Like A plus for that. Okay, but still, like you can do something with good intentions for society, but then there's going to be some point. Well, not for everyone, but there's going to be some point where someone be like, oh yeah, they're money hungry and they want more, and
Mm-hmm.
like the more that they want can go against human rights. The more that they
Absolutely.
want can go against a lot of people's views. So
Sure.
he doesn't believe in freedom.
So I'm going to turn up the heat on Macalcia right now because all of you are going to have to feel a bit of the heat today. Whoever goes up there, Macalcia. Let's talk about Macalcia. Forget about Elon Musk and Donald Trump for a moment. Let's talk
Mhm.
about how important is your freedom to you? Your freedom to think, feel, dream, do without anybody in your way, or the freedom to achieve, the freedom to essentially live the way you want. Is that really important to you?
It is.
Is there anything more important?
That my freedom?
Yeah.
Not anything I can think of at the moment. But then let me get here before you start saying anything. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Go
I
on.
might want some. Okay. We are like at the end of the day, we have to like think of like what's for the greater good. I'm okay. If I was a person in charge of like an entire country, I
Yes.
can think about what's best for myself. I have to think about what's best for the people I am leading.
Of course.
But I'm not leading anyone. I'm leading myself. I'm in charge of myself. Okay, I'm responsible for my own actions, and my actions will have consequences. So if I'm like, oh yeah, I have a right to say something, I have a freedom to say something or do
Yes.
something. Those actions has consequences. Every single action has a reaction,
Yes.
right? So we're talking about my freedom. Yes, it's valid. Yes, but at the end of the day, it's still gonna have some type of consequences on myself. Maybe two or three people who were there,
Yes.
right? But not an entire country or like an entire like society or the world in
Yes.
general.
So, in terms of our future, the human future, as we move into new worlds and into space and build other perhaps cultures, other places for us to live, how important will this idea of being free be? Still the same as, or is it going to change based on some new conditions?
Being free for me or free
Just as individuals,
as in
that individual freedom that you talk about, is that going to continue as we go to the moon, go to Mars, go to other places?
if you choose to be a part of like what's happening, it's your right, it's your freedom, yes. Like if you don't want to, like no one will force you to do it.
And what if a government emerges in this new place that tells you you're free, but you know you're not? Will you oppose that government?
Then that government is not a democracy, it's a hypocrisy.
Well, that's a good line. So you don't want hypocrisy. You
No
want
one wants hypocrisy.
no one wants hypocrisy.
Because with hypocrisy, like you don't have your freedom, like you don't have your right. For example,
Wow.
let's look at what's happening in Venezuela. They are run by a dictator, okay? And I know this because my country is right next to Venezuela, and like war almost started.
Is that
with-
Guyana?
Yes,
Yeah.
war almost started with Guyana, Venezuela because of a dictator. Like it was over land. Like this has been happening for years.
Yes. Yes.
Had his final straw. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna actually like fight for this because there's oil there, and the oil is gonna benefit me, not the people of Venezuela, but it's gonna benefit me. Because
Right.
like more people that come in, like more people who want to do business with him and not his country, with him, right? He's gonna benefit more. That's a dictator. Like that's a dictatorship.
Sure. Sure. So would it be fair to say that you don't believe Elon Musk believes in freedom more than anything else because Elon Musk really is just a hypocrite?
He believes in freedom for himself, not anyone else.
Freedom for himself, but not anybody else.
Like any natural human being.
That's pretty good.
Freedom for
That's pretty
yourself.
good. Okay, let's put that in there. Freedom for himself, but not anybody else.
Any
Wow.
natural human being, you should believe in freedom for yourself.
Okay.
Like then you have
Fair
like
enough.
not be selfish and think about other people.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like creating stuff that's gonna affect other people.
And we want a future. Don't you want a future long, long into the future where it's not just freedom for one person, but it's freedom for lots of people too? Don't you want to be part of that future?
Yeah.
Okay.
Faith has a question.
That's the question. Great. Thanks a lot. Okay. Very good. I mean, you're coming up and doing this. Okay. So let's review for a second and let's just understand something about how Mikausia and her team, I think they might have agreed, or more or less, they had a discussion, answered this. He does not believe that freedom is more important than anything else. He is using money to get what he wants because he wants the freedom for himself, but not for others. That's something to think about in terms of how freedom is going to unfold into the future. Being careful about people in power who say that he or she cares about freedom, but maybe it's only to ensure that they have the freedom, but nobody else. Okay. Over here, let's go to team one, and we can do. Hold on a sec. We usually this is default. This is default too. If you're here, this can be default. But no, Romesh has a lot to say. He just doesn't always say it in class. But he wrote a great assignment. But I don't want to put you on the spot. You okay to just listen? Okay. You want to come up, talk? Okay. It's okay as long as you're listening. But communication skills are part of the employability outcomes. So that's why I do this, to help you with communication, because that's part of what you're being assessed on. But Colin, that's okay. Come on up, Colin. And this is team one. Okay? Team one. Right? Okay. Yeah. So does he or doesn't he believe in freedom more than anything else? And why? Yeah.
We kind of agree with team two in some aspects. What we would like to say is that he does and does not. He cares about his own freedoms. We agree with that, and he doesn't care about others as much, I think. But the thing that I believe, or we believe, I hope we're all on the same track. I don't know. Is that he most cares about is not humanity's freedom, but humanity's advancement.
Oh.
That's why he's so pushy to get into space. So pushy for cybernetics into brains and stuff.
By the brain chip, or no, that's not.
Brain chip or future cars and stuff. He just wants to go further.
Humanity's
faster.
go for it. And so that's good, isn't it? Doesn't that mean it's going to lead to invention? That nothing's holding him back. Just go for it. Don't stand in my way. Let me be free to invent. Don't restrict me. Don't regulate me. Don't have government stand in my way and tax me.
Yeah,
Get out of my way.
that's how you get people that kidnap people, bring them to their basements and do experiments.
But don't they have a responsibility to the rest of us to be paying their taxes and to be doing the things that we do, even if we may not want to advance humanity the way he does? Doesn't he still have the same responsibility that we all have to each other and the government? Or is he sort of separate? Is that guy in the garage separate?
In which way?
I don't know how much he paid in taxes. I can't tell you. We'd have to look into that.
I would say that his money makes him different. In what way, I could not say.
Well, I can answer a question for you. We know that Donald Trump resisted paying taxes for a long time,
That's because he's broke.
and well, he did, but he also refused to release his own tax returns for many, many years. And finally, when they were revealed, it showed that he paid much less than he was supposed to. I'm not saying Elon Musk is doing that, but I mean, what about us, more normal people who are working hard to pay our taxes? Shouldn't they have to pay the taxes too? But that's something else. Let's just come back to human advancement. So do we have to let these people be as free as they want to be because we're going to benefit from their technologies? And that's the only way we're going to get this kind of advancement, if we just stand out of the way and let him do what he wants?
No.
There will be many, many
This
people.
might sound annoying.
Go
but
on, Colin.
Everything needs supervision.
Huh.
In the ways of advancement, disadvancement, or well,
Everything needs supervision.
say
Absolutely.
he finds something.
Very good point.
He,
Go on.
he finds that oh no, his brain chip can control people's minds. If someone wasn't there above him to say, yeah, let's not do that, what would stop him?
We are all accountable to each other in the end, aren't we?
There needs to be a line.
Whether we are free or more free or less free, the critical thing is whatever we do with that freedom, we have to answer to other human beings. We are not an island unto ourselves, are we? Freedom has a responsibility. If you are free with other people who are free. You're not free alone. You are accountable. So that's a very, very wise thing, Colin, to be supervised. It's accountability. Is Elon Musk, Mr. Freedom, not accountable to somebody? He would like to think only to himself. But isn't he accountable to all of us?
I'll just wrap up.
Questions to think about, Colin. Carry on, and then we're going to move on. But an excellent point about supervision. Everybody has to answer to somebody else. We are in this together, aren't we? If we don't say that, then our future becomes a lot more filled with conflict. Yes.
I'll just wrap up by saying the term that I best agree with to describe Elon at the moment is a narcissist.
Okay. Well, let's say that's a strong term, and this exact same term has been used for Donald Trump, that all he cares about is himself. Well, okay, but thank you for the supervision. Hold your thought, Faith, and I want to make sure that it may be you that's coming next, because we did we did 1, we did 2, now we're going to come to 3. And hold your thought. Is there anything you'd like to add to what Colin said? Okay, way to go. Freedom involves a responsibility. This is what we start to understand about this idea that the more free we are, we always still have a responsibility to others in this world. We're not islands unto ourselves. This is a very important part of our future. We are not islands unto ourselves. Okay. Do you want to just a sec or here? Anybody here? Because your default, your pivot, you do this, you speak, you've got lots of good things to say. But I want to make sure that everybody here has a chance. Jaziel always has something to say. Is it Sam? Sangam, and then it's Dylan, right? Dylan. Okay. Dylan, do you want to say anything? Are you good? Okay. Okay, go ahead. Uh, you start, and then you be prepared to give the mic to them. Okay. But right now we're leaning towards Elon Musk believes in other things a little bit more than freedom, which might put him in the territory of a bit of a hypocrite. He says one thing, but he's really doing something else. And he's saying that thing because he thinks that's what we want to hear. But it's not really true. Okay, hello, and then go ahead.
Um, how should I say? Yeah, team one and team two.
You are team 3.
No, no.
Oh.
From their perspective, yeah. To be honest, they're right. There's nothing to argue or nothing to point out. I think they're right. He's narcissist. He's a hypocrite, and yeah, his freedom version of freedom is when it benefits him. To be honest, he doesn't care about us. I would say he used to support the Democrats in the first place before he changed to Trump.
That's true.
Before, how should I say? I think this incident happened during the Biden administration, where he wasn't invited to the EV conference. I think something like that, and it was one of major controversy, like one of the biggest electric car company, or the EV vehicle market company, wasn't invited to a conference about electric cars. That would put a bad light on the whole company as a whole.
So then, what about what Elon Musk has said about X, for example? That before, when it was Twitter, it was too sort of nice. Everybody was being nice. Now on X, you get everything. Everybody's speaking freely, even if they swear at somebody and they say, "Why is that guy wearing a turban?" And this woman over here, why does she like this woman or that woman instead of a man? And this Jew here and this guy with the dreads and this, like you can say anything you want now, and you're getting something more free. You're getting some. That's what he says about X now. It's more free. You can say anything, even if it's the most awful thing. That's humanity. That's kind of disturbing, isn't it?
It's a joke, to be honest. Twitter before Elon Musk was already a joke of a place, because it was one of the most toxic websites in the web, in the social media, everything. Like it used to, Twitter just became from far left to far right. It just changed sides. That's all.
Do any of you use X? Well, let's just see for a second. So let's start. We're gonna go. Excellent. Okay, thank you. You can grab a seat, but good stuff. Okay. Raise your hands again of how many of you use X. And online, just put a little digital image of X. And after this discussion that we've had a little bit, where we're starting to kind of conclude that maybe Elon Musk doesn't believe in freedom as much as he says he does. Do you want to still use X? It's a good way to keep tabs on him. Uh-huh. But can you go somewhere else? I mean, instead of do you feel comfortable using a platform of a person? Go ahead.
I would say Twitter, like every other social media account, is very biased towards your opinion and your algorithm. So I feel like to keep tabs on Elon, you would want to go to an other stores.
Okay. Macalcia?
Get this man a cookie. He's gonna my name.
Yeah, I want the cookies or whatever is coming. Go ahead.
Like, okay, it's supposed to be like an app where, like, like freedom of speech, like you can say whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Exactly.
You want.
That's what he says.
And there are still guidelines. Okay, and it's very biased towards what is being said. Okay, because like people post any and everything on X or like Twitter, whatever,
Yeah.
right? But like when it comes to like a comment that would be like, let's say that's about either race or like a political party or something.
It's hateful. Let's say we call
hateful and
it's hateful.
against guidelines.
Yeah.
But like people are posting
Isn't it?
like
Yeah.
everything on that. But when it comes to like a comment that goes against what
Go ahead, Colin. Yeah, sure. Make sure you have the mic. Okay, I'll give Colin the mic. Okay, for a second. I don't know who's got the third mic. It went somewhere, but okay, go ahead. I'll help. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to add something real quick. Then you continue. At the beginning when he just got X, any fake counts, anything said about Elon, you got banned. So I'm just saying that kind of reinforces what I said that he's a narcissist. No one else can be. He's very controlling.
First, I want to make sure we have a conclusion in Team 3. We'll get that before we finish. We're coming to the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, and I just want to remind you of where we are, because there's a very important insight that I want all of you to explore, at least think about. We started today's class, which is called Together on Earth, to understand how we can go forward into the future as a collective society on Earth and ensure that as we move into space and beyond, that we will not repeat the same problems we have down here, which is we have a lot of conflict and war. And we also determined that freedom is a critical part of the human experience, that freedom is what humans want, but we also wanted to explore whether there might be other things that humans want more than freedom. But in the end, we're coming back to this idea through Elon Musk's experience and the discussion that it's very important to understand how we should be free. If freedom is going to remain central to the human experience, even if there are other things that are more important, if freedom is going to remain central, we will have to make sure it's supervised, that it has some kind of accountability, that you can't just be free to do and say and be the way you want because you're living with other people all the time. And that's something very important about freedom in the future, is how we ensure that we can continue to enjoy the benefits of freedom, to enjoy all of this technology that comes from a free imagination, to be able to do what we want in our lives within limits. What will those limits be? Who's going to make those limits? A government? Yourself? Who's going to ensure that we always respect there's a boundary between freedom and abuse, freedom and manipulation, freedom and enslavement, even? How will we ensure that we can also make us as free as we can be, maintain these freedoms, but not let them reach a point where the freedoms are being abused and hurting others? This is going to be a huge challenge for humanity into the future, because we have very powerful machines and tools and weapons now that can be used to kill us and hurt us and enslave us and control us. How will we use those things to ensure that we do not destroy our freedoms? So important. Colin.
common
Well,
sense isn't that common.
You're assuming something very interesting, that there's this thing called common human sense that we all have. Maybe we do have it.
Let's add something real quickly. Faith's been wanting to talk since I was up.
Okay, go ahead, Faith Lynn, and then we're good. We're down to the last 5 minutes. But Colin has said something interesting that we should also think about, which is there something that we all share as human beings, we humanity, that we can count on, that will determine how we manage this problem going into the future? He calls it common sense. Maybe. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to expand on Colin's point of calling Elon Musk a narcissist. I would go as far as saying he has like a straight up god complex and hero complex.
Hmm.
Like a god complex being like, oh, he's above everything. He can do everything because he does have the money to do so, and like
Yeah.
a hero complex. What he's doing with X, wanting to like make people go to the moon.
Yes.
Like one of like Elon Musk's like biggest thing is like he once said that he doesn't. The population crisis is more important than climate change. That's why he has like a bunch of children and doesn't believe in like birth control or
Mm,
support birth
mm,
control and
mm,
abortion.
mm, mm. That's kind of unnerving for a woman, isn't it? For him to be saying, abortion's not right or don't use birth control, just have lots of. Doesn't that restrict your freedom? If a man tells you you're really supposed to just have children,
If anyone
isn't that
tells you,
insulting to a
if
woman?
it's a man or a woman telling you that you're supposed to have children, it's like insulting and it's restricting your freedom.
Good point.
It's like
Absolutely.
you're only supposed to do
Very
that.
good point.
And I also want to add,
He has said this. He said, women's place is to have children, and he's going to be the one who puts the seed in there. And he's going to have lots of children. And he already has 10 kids with how many wives? I don't know, or not wives, girlfriends. So it's a bit insulting, isn't it, for a woman
I
to
just
be.
want to add,
Sure.
do you remember what he said right after Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris?
Mm.
No. What
Mhm.
did he say?
Well, he said like when Taylor Swift like endorsed Kamala Harris, she signed herself as like childless, childless cat lady.
Right.
Mhm. And like because she knew that like
That would.
people would like make fun of her for that,
Yeah.
but she's sticking around. But what Elon Musk directly said at that, like, all right, Taylor, you won. I'll take care of your cat and give you children. All because she had a like in different pose, like view of him, like from him.
Well, I think that we probably are coming to the point of the class, Faith Lynn, where we've got some nice insight. And I like what you said by bringing Taylor Swift into it. Maybe we should talk about her in another class to try to understand something about freedom. But, well, listen, we've covered a lot of ground today, and we haven't concluded everything, and we shouldn't. I just want you to think about this very important question of the importance of freedom and the free mind in the human future, and the statements that powerful people make today in this world when they talk about freedom and say they are free and that they're doing it for our freedom. And we've concluded, I think, today with a good discussion that actually they may have other vested interests than freedom. And so I think we should probably wrap up a little bit early just because I want to make sure everything's saved properly. And I want to check in with the online group. If there's anything we can add to this, let's check. This is Elon, and these are quotes, but I don't have sources. So I'm a little concerned about where these things are coming from. So I'll just leave it for now, okay? And Hilal, and then we're going to wrap up. Good, Faith Lynn. Yeah, please give it to him.
Back on the. Is this working?
Yep,
Okay, there you go. Back on the
yep, go ahead.
back on the topic of what would keep someone in check. I feel like the main reason why Elon thinking he can get away with so much he does is that he just has an ego. This is an incredibly overinflated, massive ego that he didn't used to have. Because I remember, like over 10 years ago when I was way younger, a
Yeah,
lot of people were saying a lot of good things.
that's right. I remember. Very good point, Hillel. He was a kind of a cool nerd, inventing. Yeah, what happened to him?
Well, he's always been rich. He was born into a rich family. He's been his parents owned a mining company. I think my head's
I'm not sure. He's from South Africa, spent time in Canada.
yeah.
Yeah.
He grew up in South Africa. His
Yes.
parents owned a massive mining company. He's always had money. It was his ego that got out of hand. Right? Like I genuinely believe that he used to be a good person. Now recently he's just gone all the way down to the gutter. He was just too many people praised him. No one kept him in check, and now he believes he's like king of the world or something.
Yeah, I should say. Elon Musk has always been a control freak. He controls his employees, everything. But that used to be trendy. Yeah, Apple's. How should I say? Apple's founder. What's his
Go up.
Uh, yeah, Steve Jobs used to do the same thing, and people were like, yeah, people used to praise him. So many CEOs were taking after him. Elon Musk was one of them. So we didn't criticize him at that time because
Sure.
it was kind of a trendy behavior, to be honest.
Hmm.
It was a terrible behavior, but people didn't look that way. It was one of the worst things to do. Control firing, especially for firing one of his secretary for not for having a vacation, like after several years.
I'm going to leave you with a question. Some of you, as you walk out the door today, just a very important question. Um, it's often said that we can't get these amazing inventions for humanity that advance humanity unless we let these people with really big egos, who are perhaps control freaks, to do what they're good at. So, is it possible to invent amazing things for humanity and who just is incredibly brilliant in what he or she does, and we should just let them do what they do because they give us things that are important? Maybe going forwards, there might be a new cliche that we could ask, um, which is, maybe it is possible that people can invent things and not have to end up shaking the hand of a presidential candidate who has been convicted of a jury in New York of crimes. He's a criminal. He's running. So, but anyways, maybe you don't have to. Maybe you can invent and be brilliant and also be good to humans too. But think about this. That's all I'm going to say. Think about it. Excellent comments, everybody. I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. Your post for today's class will not be due until after the break. Okay? So I see you in 2 weeks. I won't see you next week. It's winter break. It's reading week. That's right. So I won't see you next week. Then I'd see you the following week. 2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks from now. In 2 Wednesdays. I'll see you in 2 Wednesdays. He had a block. You need some coffee. That's all. You need an afternoon espresso. Okay? Great. I'll be here if you want to talk to me. And for those of you online, thank you, Ashley. Have a great 2 weeks. I'm going to sign out here. I'll save the chat. Maureen, if you just want to save the notes. And we're good. I'm going to shut my microphone.